'Tis the season
Oh, can you help the children today?
to be taken.
Bless you.
Santa wants your
Merry
money.
Christmas.
Know who else wants your
Happy
money?
holidays.
Cyber thieves,
Oh.
porch poachers, con artists pretending to have a higher calling. And they think your money is heavenly. And the puppy you ordered your children for Christmas
Nobody ever gets a puppy. The puppies don't exist.
is never coming. There's lots of people on the naughty list because crooks don't take the season off. Join us as we uncover how scammers steal your Christmas cheer right now on Holiday Scams.
Happy holidays, America. I'm consumer investigator Dale Cardwell. Whether you're from a small town or a big city, 'tis the season, we tend to think of others. The sad reality is there are some others who think of you as a target. This show is about preserving your cheer and keeping you clear of getting taken. So let's make you aware of holiday scams. You'll find them on virtually any busy street. People in uniforms, outfits, even costumes, soliciting cash for a cause. You make a decision in the blink of an eye. The question is, should you give? We decided to test America's penchant for giving by setting people up for a fraud. Santa fraud, that is. Oh, can you help the children today? We simply rented a suit, printed a sign, and soon we were raking in a bucket full of dough.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Just so appreciated. Thank you. Thank you. The children, thank you.
I think that a lot of people will give with their hearts, but not necessarily with their heads.
This charity expert isn't surprised by our success.
It's pretty interesting in today's day and age where everyone wants to go online and look at reviews of restaurants before they go out to eat, but they're not necessarily doing the same research for a nonprofit organization.
So how much did we make and how far did we go?
'Tis the season to be taken.
The unbelievable results coming up.
Nobody home?
You're not home, and that's the way they like it. Porch pirates are doing their holiday shopping at a porch near you. And later.
So I go online and I looked and I said, well, here's one right here.
But it's all a scam, and the puppy doesn't exist. A cautionary tale you can't miss. Still to come on Holiday Scams. Welcome back to Holiday Scams. Remember when folks would sit on their front porches, visit with neighbors, and keep an eye on the neighborhood? Well, with our commuter culture and the commonality of online shopping, those same front porches are no longer a place to sit and visit, but rather they serve as a pathway for crime to come to your front door. In broad open daylight, in cities, and in the suburbs, brazen thieves have a favorite place to shop this holiday season, your front porch.
Hello? Nobody home?
According to a study by Insurance Quotes, nearly 26 million Americans have had a holiday package stolen from their home. So tell me what you like about this neighborhood. Steve Ray lives in a neighborhood in Atlanta where porch pirates are bagging booty at an alarming rate.
I had the designer toilet seat that I ordered and paid a lot of money to have it quickly delivered. I got a text that it had come and came on the porch to an empty box. Call the police and tell them your toilet seat's stolen. You see how that reaction goes.
Steve says, like many people around the country, neighbors are relying on each other to protect their property and to identify offenders. Like this man seen through the fisheye, stealing a just-delivered lawnmower. Steve lives just a block away from this home and was able to ID the guy as a serial stealer.
When I saw him on the video, that kind of tied the knot with a lot of suspicions. And
video doorbell technology is making policing of porch piracy a bit easier.
Because if we can see videos that are happening in one neighborhood or another, and we can maybe go out and solve some of these crimes and stop some of the people that we're seeing on these videos, it certainly helps us do our job much more effectively.
Here in California, package theft is so common that you could actually catch someone doing it in the act, even have irrefutable visual evidence. But unless the value of the contents of your package exceeds $950, police won't even write the thief a ticket. This guy was picked up soon after this incident by local authorities on an unrelated charge. But more and more internet shoppers are finding ways to prevent Scrooges from stealing their holiday packages.
It's a problem just about everywhere.
Brad Rufkus is the CEO and inventor of BoxLock, a padlock that reads barcodes found on all shipping parcels. The concept's simple. A consumer buys a storage box, secures it to the ground, and locks it up with the BoxLock. When Amazon, UPS, FedEx, or other major shipping companies come to deliver, they can open the lock by scanning the package, put it in the box, then secure it with the lock.
We help the carriers reduce their number of costly redeliveries, right? Prevent them from having to put it back on the truck. And then we help the retailers reduce their cost of lost and stolen goods, and our customers typically spend more online, order more often.
But this technology only works when the shipping companies are willing to use it. Amazon offers buyers secure shipping lockers like these in public areas, like gas stations. Steve opts to rent a mailbox at a local business center near his home.
There's usually no parking. I'll circle the block 2 or 3 times sometimes to get a parking place.
Inconvenient? You bet. But with more than 1 billion packages expected to be delivered between Black Friday and Christmas Day, it may be the only way to ensure the presents you order will make it under the tree. Just ahead, nothing is sacred. We reveal an unforgivable texting scam targeting the faithful. And see how easy it is for Santa to collect cash for a fake charity, and find out why you too could fall for the fraud. Welcome back to Holiday Scams. Let's face it, giving $1 or even $20 to a bogus cause isn't going to break any of us. But there are con artists who use the season to prey upon people of faith, asking for cash behind a guise of a higher calling.
I rejoiced because they said to me, we will go up to the house of the Lord.
It's fair to say Nancy Lawrence considers herself a loving member of the flock. But when her priest reached out with a plea to her phone, Nancy admits she was shocked.
Well, I was in Hawaii on vacation with my husband and some friends, and I got the text, and it said that Father Lawrence, first he wanted to know if he could text me. And I'm like, sure, okay, you can text me.
That's when the pressure ramped up.
He was asking me to get a Google Play gift card of $500 for a friend of his who was fighting cancer. And I was just like, okay, that's strange.
Nancy bought some time by explaining her location.
So I said, well, I'm sorry, I'm in Hawaii. I can't help you with this. Then I got 3 more texts. If the person was persistent and said that they needed it now.
That's when Nancy called the church.
I was told that there had been other people who had gotten the same type of text.
People like pewmate Marlon Panther.
I was taking a nap when the text came in, and when I opened up my phone, I saw the text, so my immediate response was, yes, my wife will pick one up.
The reason Marlon Panther was so willing to help? He couldn't say no to who he thought was Father Lawrence.
I think it's because, in the church, we can be very so trusting.
Father Lawrence Santos is credited with saving not only his parishioners, but many people of faith tens of thousands of dollars by getting the word out that the texts are a scam.
I informed the other parishes here in our area, and all the pastors, most of the pastors, received the same text scam, and it's always a pastor's name.
The practice is called SMS phishing or smishing. The fraudsters hijack the priest, rabbi, or pastor's cell phone numbers, then send text requests to thousands of worshipers. And just where do you think they're getting those names?
My guess is from the Queen of Angels website. It has the lectors list, the Eucharistic ministers list, and that contains names, phone numbers, and emails.
So Marlon, they have access to dozens, if not hundreds of names, emails, and phone numbers?
Yes, I do.
The con is successful not only because it tugs at your heart, but because all the scammers need is the numbers off the cards.
They said, pick one up, scratch off the back of the card, and show the pin, and take a picture, and then text it to them. And that was my first clue that something is wrong here.
Marlon ultimately dodged the scam thanks to Father Lawrence's warning.
The Bible says we have to pray for these people. How difficult is that for you?
Of course, the Bible says so, okay? So we have to pray for them, we have to forgive them. But of course, they have to stop all these bad things that they are doing.
Marlon Panther had another way of putting it.
I really feel sorry for them because there is a heaven, there is a hell, and they're sure adding up credits to get to the wrong place.
From the diabolical to the downright illogical. Earlier in our show, we showed you just how easy it is to take up money on a busy street for a completely made-up cause. But why? Let's dig deeper.
Ho, ho, ho! Can you help the kids today?
A guy in a suit in the middle of the street, raking in money for a fabricated cause.
All the children thank you all the while.
The practice is called street canvassing, and while it's actually illegal in many American cities, that doesn't stop people from giving.
Now, why do you give to causes like this?
It comes back to you.
Yes, ma'am, it does. Merry Christmas.
Just 30 minutes in, our bucket was turning green.
Got to stuff it down. It's getting too full.
They see Santa Claus, right? And it evokes a lot of joy.
Kevin Scally is Chief Relationship Officer with Charity Navigator, a website that inspects and rates worthy causes.
So Charity Navigator operates off of a 0 to 4-star rating. So 3 or 4-star organizations are organizations that we typically recommend and you can feel good about donating.
Those guidelines include the organization's level of transparency, its financial health, CEO pay, and perhaps most important, how much of the money you give is actually going to the cause the charity promotes.
The golden standard is typically 70% or more. The more north that you are of 70%, I would say the better.
In the case of Santa fraud, no one asked Santa any questions whatsoever, and they kept on giving despite what he was singing.
Call me Rip-Off Claus, call me Rip-Off Claus, I'll take your money right now.
And watch what happens when Santa comes clean.
Would you believe I'm consumer investigator Dale Cardwell with Trustdale Investigates, and people are giving me about $70 an hour because I rented a Santa suit?
Buddy got my dog.
The moral of our story? Don't be afraid to ask for documentation, and know that you can wait to give another day.
You should never feel bullied into giving. Take the time to take that information and do some research. And that way you can feel good about giving, but also know that you didn't get taken advantage of.
Our total take? $178 in less than 2 hours. We later donated all the money to a legitimate children's charity. When we return, a peek at the most prevalent online scams. Our experts offer tips on how to prevent getting scrooged by cyber thieves. Welcome back to Holiday Scams. Here in the Big Apple, cyber schemers take New Yorkers for an average of $7,000 per crime. That's the highest rip-off rate in the nation. Unfortunately, no matter where you deck the halls this holiday season, you or someone you love is likely to get cyber snowed. Melinda Adams lives most of her life out of a suitcase.
Recently, I was away for 7 weeks, a 7-week stretch. Well, you know, you have to look at it like, oh, well, thank goodness I'm getting all these points because it's going to be worth something.
Not long ago, she found out just how much they're worth to cyber thieves.
I got an alert on my phone, and it said, are you ready to check into your hotel in Detroit? Well, I'm not going to Detroit. Like, what the heck is going on?
A phone call to the hotel revealed the reason. Hackers had a hold on her reward accounts.
It immediately made me think, oh my gosh, like I've got to cancel my credit card, I've got to cancel everything, because if they've hacked into that, what else have they hacked into?
A better question may be, what haven't they? According to a study at the University of Maryland, cyber attacks are occurring on average every 39 seconds, affecting 1 in 3 Americans each year.
Basically, we're living in a world where breaches have become the third certainty in life behind death and taxes, and cyber wars replace the Cold Wars.
Adam Levin, a cybersecurity guru and author of the consumer protection book Swiped, says from social media gift exchanges and Yuletime travel deals to identity theft through online shopping, the holidays are a high season for hackers.
We have to get more cyber hygienic. We have to get tougher. We have to step up our game because the bad guys are coming.
And they're coming in more and more sophisticated ways, using malware like e-skimming to wage war on your bank accounts.
The problem with e-skimming is that basically this code sits on websites and it transmits to hackers and scammers and identity thieves credit card information and other personal information being entered by a consumer on that website. It's, for a consumer, impossible to detect. And the only way you're going to find out is if all of a sudden your credit card balance keeps going up and there's no explanation.
Even more frustrating is the inability to hold anyone accountable.
Even when you do think you have the person responsible, a lot of times defense attorneys can say, wait a second, how do you know that person is actually the person that breached your server or breached your email? So they're very difficult to prove.
After some investigation, Melinda believes her loyalty rewards were stolen while using public Wi-Fi. It's experience she hopes others can learn from.
Don't do that, because if you sign in and someone is savvy enough to tap into your phone, they can get all of your points and, ruin what could be a very special memory.
And making special memories is what this time of year is all about. Criminals may wait months, even years, to abuse your personal data. So it's important to review and monitor your information continually to detect signs of fraud. Still to come, a warning about a far-fetched con aimed at animal lovers across America. Welcome back to Holiday Scams. The decision to bring a pet into the family is a lot like adopting a child. It's exciting, it's nerve-wracking, and yes, it can be expensive. But once the decision's made, the new addition will hold a place in your heart. Which brings us to the American heartland and the cautionary tale of a family that went looking for a pet online, only to wind up being harmed by the heartless.
Yellow, get in the truck. Good girl.
2-year-old Yolo is Danny Shelton's best friend.
We know it. We hope so.
But it took a mighty loss and then a hard-earned lesson for these two to finally find each other. First, the loss.
We had a dog named Lois that had cancer and had to have her put down the day after Christmas.
Still mourning Lois's death, Danny made the decision to adopt another Weimaraner. But after a local adoption fell through, he took to the web to broaden his search.
So I go online and I look and I said, well, here's one right here. And the guy says he'll ship it to you for whatever. So I contact the guy. He wanted $700 sent through Walmart. Should have been a clue.
Full of hope and wanting to fill the hole in his heart, Danny wired the seller the money, then almost instantly received an email.
So I'm looking at this email and it says, due to customs, I need $1,400 more dollars. That's when the light comes on, so I call the guy up and I said, I know this is a scam.
We traced the online puppy dealer to this address in Atlanta, Georgia, 740 Morosco Drive, Suite 130. But there isn't a Suite 130. While we didn't get any answers here, we did find out that the person or persons who set up the site Danny used is also linked to several other fraudulent puppy selling sites, all of which are now red flagged by the Federal Trade Commission.
Nobody ever gets a puppy. The puppies don't exist.
Steve Baker with the Better Business Bureau says this crook is not the only person pretending to have puppies for sale. And he adds, it's a cruel con thousands of families may fall victim to this holiday season.
It is so bad. I don't think you can do an internet search for a puppy without coming across a fake puppy picture.
Baker says this type of fraud is widespread because it's so simple to set up. All the thieves need is a domain name, a hosting company, and content for the website, which many steal from real pet adoption sites. Once the web page is active with photos of cute animals, it's easy to prey on the pet seeker's emotions.
A puppy is going to be a big part of the family, and people look at these pictures really hard and they get invested and they're convinced this is a real puppy.
According to its investigation, the Better Business Bureau says the puppy ploy is primarily run by a criminal ring in the African nation of Cameroon.
The arrests that there have been in the United States for these are Cameroonian students who've come here on student visas and just stayed, and they're running around to Western Union and MoneyGram offices picking up the money.
Animal advocates say the best way to safeguard yourself against this type of scam is to always see a pet in person before paying any amount of money.
You really truly don't know what you're going to get until you physically see that animal in person yourself. That's why we recommend that you go to your local shelter or rescue. That way you can visit with the dog, spend time with the dog.
As for Danny, he gave up on searching for a dog for a while. That is, until he found a breeder in a neighboring state.
There's a dog.
And now that Danny has learned the lesson, all he wants to do is to warn others so they won't get duped like he did.
If I can stop, one person from making the same mistake, at least it's better than nothing.
That is better than nothing, Danny. You can learn more about how to protect your family from holiday scams and beyond with my book, Don't Get Scammed, Get Smart: 7 Simple Steps to Becoming a Savvy Consumer. It's available on Amazon and at trustdale.com. I'm consumer investigator Dale Cardwell. Thank you so much for watching. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.